So we're doing something a little bit different today, and I'm calling it Moves with Melanie off the mat. And it's just an opportunity for you all to get to know me a little bit better off the mat. And this is an ideal time to get started to do that because I recently celebrated a birthday, and birthdays are what I consider to be a personal new year. So the idea of a personal new year came about really during COVID and all of the changes that I made within myself and my life during the time that we were going through the COVID-19 pandemic. So a personal new year for me is very different than what we all do at the end of the year. In December 31st, when everybody's celebrating a new year, at least for me, there's a little bit of pressure to like make it something special, make it something fun, get the kiss at midnight. It just, again, for me, it brings out a lot of anxiety. Well, a personal new year is different because it happens at any time that you want to mark a new year, start a new transition, start day one, turn the page. And for me, again, like I said, it's my birthday. And I think it's because my birthday is in August, towards the end of the summer. We're bringing summer to a close. We're getting ready to transition into a fall. So there's already that feeling of turning a new leaf, flipping a new page, starting a new chapter. And so, like I said, personal New Year for me is something that really came about during the COVID-19 pandemic. What my life looked like in 2019 before we all went into quarantine and what it looks like now in 2024, September of 2024, is very different. And a lot of it has to do with the work that I did internally and then subsequently externally during the pandemic. Before in 2019, before we were on lockdown, I was never at home. I traveled a whole lot for work and I didn't really like it. And I just really wasn't satisfied. I wasn't really happy internally. And then when we were forced into lockdown and I spent a lot of time in this room, making it from the second bedroom into my home office, I had a lot of time to think. I had a lot of time to reflect, a lot of time to, really focus on what do I want out of my life? Not so much what do I want to do with my life, but like at the end of the day, when all is said and done, what do I want it to look like? What do I want to have happened? And who do I want it to spend with? So that led to a lot of internal reflections, a lot of healing from past wounds, past traumas, resetting boundaries, reestablishing my relationships, and just, realigning what my priorities were. That's a great way to describe it. Really, redescribing, realigning what my priorities were. So fast forward, to 2022 when things started to reemerge, life started to become a little more open. A lot of us were called back into the office. I went into it with a different perspective. And again, taking from what I had learned 2020 through 2022, again, what do I want it to look like as we re-enter into the world? Because for me personally, I wasn't going back to the way things were in 2019. So yeah, when the world opened back up, I made some changes. Was it easy? Absolutely not. Was I met with resistance? Yes, I was, particularly on the professional side. But at the end of the day, I had done all of this work on myself. And again, I knew what I wanted my life to look like. And I knew that there were going to be steps and changes that had to be made, boundaries put in place, reshifting priorities, reshifting friendships. So I put them in. Did I receive a lot of unsolicited feedback on my changes? Yes, I did. Did I care? No, I did not. Because again, I'm doing what I needed to do for myself. So fast forward to the present, and I really can say that I'm in a place in my life where I am excited, I'm happy. I know that God is going to do some amazing things. He's doing a bunch of stuff right now, but over the next few weeks, months, and years. And again, it goes back to this idea of a personal new year. So, what are the things that went well? What are the things that didn't go well? What are the things that I can celebrate and learn from the previous 365 days? And the idea of what can I implement? What changes can I make? What can I celebrate as we move forward? There's less pressure on this because really it's a conversation that I'm having with myself. And it's really about accountability that I'm making with myself. And, being able to celebrate and appreciate and make those changes as we move forward into the next year of my life and my next chapter. So I'm sharing all of this to not only just, get help you all get to know me a little bit more, but hopefully as a word of encouragement for anyone out there that's feeling that stirring within themselves. Is there a desire to change? Is there some sort of like realigning, reshifting, retransition? Is there some sort of desire to change, realign, shift, make a transition, reestablish boundaries? Is there something that's stirring within you that you want to make? Some change that you want to make, go ahead and do it. It's going to take some time. It's going to take, some effort. It's going to take some really tough conversations that you're going to have with yourself and maybe others. But I promise you, in the long run, it's worth it. And you too yourself can celebrate your own personal New Year.